Marie's really good at it. Really good at it. She'll be, she's super encouraging.
Okay.
She'll often be like, yeah, she just thinks, she'll text me and say, hey, I'm proud of you for this or that. Or like if a, you know, and I think women don't realize how much, especially for, like I am very, more than, especially now that I'm relatively healthy, emotionally healthy. Like when I was younger, I needed a lot of affirmation. Now I'm just doing what I'm doing because I feel like I'm supposed to do it. It's not like I need somebody to say, oh, wow, good for you. Oh, good that you did. Like, I don't need that. But for Marie, I love it. And she'll do it, right? Yeah. And it's pretty cool. She'll text me and say, hey, I'm proud of you for caring for those people well. And I would say, and I've said this to her recently, she is the main reason that I do so well in those areas because she is so supportive. Yeah. And I think that women underestimate, or at least in my opinion, from my experience with guys, women underestimate the power of their words for their husbands. I don't think that women realize how much if you know, and maybe there's not a lot, you know, maybe the guy is a doofus to some extent like me, but it's like, hey, you grab the one thing. It's like, man, most guys, you know, if guys are trying to do the right things, will respond very well to, you know, so, and I struggle even answering that question because some men do need more questioning but there again, your job as a guy is not to have your wife be your accountability partner, or the person that's questioning you about how much you're spending on this or how much time you're doing on your, you know, like you should have enough guys in your life, right? And so that's where it's complicated. But a lot of marriages, because both people are doing the wrong thing, they end up being the person that's challenging. You can only change yourself. Stuff. Yeah, but man, that's hard, man, when you're in a tough marriage to just be like, oh, I'm just going to work on, you know, my stuff, because it's just so much easier to look at the other person and all the crap that they're doing, which of course most marriages to some degree have that, right? So, and that has been our journey, and it's because Marie and I are both have, you know, like you and your wife have both done Freedom Session, have both kind of worked on, or at least been somewhat aware. Yeah. And I think there again, for me, my only job is to be worried about, hey, how can I care for Marie, right? Yeah. And, you know, you asked last week about going on the holiday and kind of like the, you know, joked about the phone, and I was probably being too flighty about it, but like, how would I treasure Marie? I would be like, literally leave the phone away from me for hours and hours, and when I do check it away from her and not talk around. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought about that afterwards. I'm like, okay. So anyways.
Yeah, for me, I think it's also for me, it's, I think this is for more guys, but like if Nicole brings me a coffee, or like just like things like that, like showing care by like meeting my needs or whatever, like those practical things, you know, or like if I see the kids really happy, you know, and she's spending time with them, that makes me feel appreciated and loved, or more secure, you know, because if they're not doing good, like I feel responsible, and I want to make sure they're doing well, but I have my work to do as well, you know, and so it's I think it's that kind of stuff. Yeah, words mean a lot. Words mean a lot.
It's funny too, when like in our marriage, where it's like periodically, very rarely, Marie will say, "Oh, I'm really proud of how hard you work." Well, like mostly it's like, "Hey, you're a workaholic. You're a workaholic." Yeah. But you know, there's the flip side of that, where like, hey, you know, you can marry somebody that's not motivated at all, and it's like, hey, you're having to carry a lot of the weight, and so there again, that's that balancing act of. The coffee one is really funny too, because I love that when Marie brings me a coffee, and it's happened a few times where it's like, oh, like I'm still in bed, like it's pretty late, and she's like downstairs, brings me up a coffee. I'm like, oh, it's so nice of you. She says, mostly it's just so you get your rear end. It's the gentlest way for me to say it's time for you to get going. It's pretty funny. So that's funny. Now I can really read into it. I still feel special, but not as special if it was like, hey, take your time.
Interesting. Okay. What else we got here?
I'd be very curious to get feedback on that.
Yeah, send in your feedback.
Send in your comments. We'll share the yes, preferably from the women and the guys, but I mean for sure the women, because I'm sure
what makes you feel loved and respected,
loved as a woman. How do you feel treasured as a wife? What makes you feel treasured? I'd be very
we'll read those.
Very interesting, and they will be anonymous. Kyle will not name drop like he sometimes does.
I don't name drop anybody that I shouldn't name drop, except for Joseph Pohl.
We did not scare him.
Okay, we're going to watch one reel, and then we're going to head into overtime.
Is it that time already? We haven't talked about the economy. We haven't talked about farming. We were going to have a short podcast, though.
Yeah, exactly.
We read basically the whole second chapter of Gentle and Lowly.
Quiet, please.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
We're not really proud of having money. We're proud of having.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.